Hi everyone from HubSpot here. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Inken and I'm the marketing director at HubSpot for EMEA. And I'm here today to talk to you about 2021. You might all think that, in the current climate, making predictions is really an impossible task. The past year was filled with challenges we did not see coming, we didn't anticipate at all. Looking back to March last year, I think very few people probably thought that we would be starting 2021 like this. But even in times of rapid change, taking a moment to think about what's on the horizon, and how can we ensure to get ready for whatever comes our way this year, I think is really important. At HubSpot, we are quite optimistic about 2021. Businesses now have months of experience under their belts to really, get new insights, to work with the pandemic, to work with the current situation, to work remotely. We are confident that this won't be a year of survival mode, but the year in which most businesses will have the opportunity to return to the path of growth. Why? Well, by putting the customer at the center of everything, we were quite successful even weathering the storm last year. And this is always easier said than done, right? So let's take a closer look at how that can be achieved by my 3 predictions for this year. Here's a quote that feels very relevant for 2021. It's something our CEO said at our big conference last year. And he was really right when he said, today you need to build a customer experience that is 10 times better than the competition. People buy from companies that create incredible end-to-end experiences, not just incredible products. Even if you have the best product on the market, it does not always mean you're the winner. And I think that became very, very clear last year when we all saw how companies, how brands reacted in this crisis. One of the effects of the pandemic is the fact that customers have become tremendously demanding when it comes to their digital experience with brands. They expect a high quality and really innovative experiences regardless that is marketing or sales led. And I think we really had to do a lot of work on our side as well to kind of adapt to this new normal and to look into how does that look into every part of our flywheel, every part of our funnel stage. And when we talk to customers remotely, and how do we present ourselves and how is that experience for everybody with our brand. That being said, the 3 predictions that I'm about to share are closely really connected to this concept. And I think it will work really well in this business climate we find ourselves in. So let's dive in. My first prediction is that in 2021, most businesses will need to adopt a post-survival mindset to unlock growth. So while 2020 was a year where many companies focused on surviving, hoping they could make, some small changes to their ways of working, wait for the pandemic to blow over. I think we've all hoped that we would get out of this situation rather sooner than later. Now they're all realizing that it's not a viable option for the business much longer. They need to change their approach to succeed and to thrive. What does that mean? I mean, it means that short-term thinking, where you sacrifice customer experience for short-term gains, is really a dead end at this point. Decisions like cutting budgets, pausing ads, or adjusting forecasts can be, can be some measure you take to weather the storm, but those are short-term solutions and they will not help you achieve long-term growth in the end. Moving to growth this year will require companies to really show that they understand their customers, their needs and their wants. As part of this long-term success mindset, I expect brands put a bigger focus on digital customer experiences in time where restrictions will be lifted, but consumers will not be willing to give up the convenience brought about by digital experiences. I think we've all, at this point now, we've gotten so used to everything being accessible online, everything working remotely, that we won't go back to our normal lives than that we had the year before. So whatever the new normal brings, digital tools will only become more prominent. And I expect businesses to really embrace digitalization as the number one item for priority on their list as well. The second prediction is really kind of that businesses will need to invest more in modern systems and in CRM systems. To say it really out here is like something you will have to do. It's just like not something you're going to get away with otherwise. It will transform the way we operationalize things internally, especially in situations where everybody in your company will be remote, will have to work with a customer, and will need to have access to the same data. I think, this survival mindset of 2020 where you can, jump into a few tools here and there and see how you manage, that's not scalable, and that's not really suitable for like anything that you want to integrate to this year. So as the customer experience has grown more complex over the last 12 months, really, most companies have brought in a patchwork of technologies stitched together from different sources, last minute, probably purchases almost. And I think this is going to hold you back this year, slowing you down tremendously if you have not a complete full growth stack of, a system that can grow with you and can add to that complexity that we're going to have and we're going to see in 21. So you need better data that gives you insights into, the experiences of each customer. And I think, every marketer always forwards the email that Spotify sends out to their customers by the end of the year, because it's such a remarkable experience that like they have all this data they can share with their customers. They know exactly what you prefer to listen to this year, how your mood was almost, and like if you were working out a lot, did you have like a workout playlist on for like a lot of times. So this is always like my prime example where every marketer's dream is to have access to all of this data. And I think, it's a prediction that like we're going to remove those legacy softwares in 21 and move and invest into a more kind of modern tool set. Lastly, the final prediction is that, 2021 will be a year in which marketing, sales, and customer service teams will have to work more closely together. When we kind of introduced this like model that I'm showing on this slide here, is like that was back in 2018. We made a pretty bold move and said, okay, the funnel is dead. The marketing funnel does not exist anymore. We believe that there is such thing as a flywheel where the customer is at the center of this flywheel. So it's kind of the orange dot in the middle. And that customer really dictates how we as a business shape the whole buyer cycle from attract to engage to delight. And it also dictates how each customer facing team has to work together. And I think it's become more important than ever that this is supported by a software or some kind of system that you have behind, because otherwise if nobody has access to the same information, there's no way you can kind of align those teams. And a shift that we actually made for this year that I wanted to share is like an organizational shift as well. So when we decided to introduce this flywheel model into the business, we also said, okay, having this model is one thing, but really owning it and living it is a different scenario. So we made an organizational shift where we said, okay, we're going to take the marketing team, the sales team, and the customer service team. And, before these organizations were all grouped independently, we're going to bring them together under one leader and have a consistent strategy across all of these teams so that whatever we hope to solve for internally will transpire externally, and our customers will actually feel that alignment. It's one of the big changes that we're making. I can highly recommend this because I think it's like one of the predictions where I feel if you can get ahead of the curve here and have that alignment between all the teams and all the customer touch points, it will make such a big difference. Because I think you're moving from a poor customer experience to an excellent customer experience. You're having better attainment. You're having better access, better like engagement on your marketing side. You're having a better conversion rate on the sales side. Every metric, you know, it'll be so much easier to move if you have that consistent structure and strategy on top of it. So, you know, harnessing the collective power of these three functions has to be a priority for the year ahead, with a modern CRM being really instrumental in solving for the customer and in solving for business growth in the end. So those are really kind of my predictions for 2021. After a year like 2020, we need to be ready for anything. I know that, especially the unexpected. And what I really hope, though, is that 2021 is the year of the customer, you know, where we have to put the customer front and center in everything we do as marketers. I know a lot of people say they're already doing this, but there is a disconnect and customers still aren't feeling it. Talk to your customers, find out what matters to them, and then create solutions to their problems. So these are my 3 predictions. I hope you got something out of them. You're going to take away some action items out of them. Work with your team, no matter if you are an individual contributor, if you are a manager, if you're a CEO. I think everybody, you know, is responsible for taking action this year to really push your brand, your company to be as innovative as possible, to look after the customer front and center. It will be something, you know, that will really help you with long-term success, and also it will align the teams. And I think that's really important in this time of age, that we all have that strong team alignment and we all know what we're fighting for. So thank you everyone for watching. And I hope you have a really successful and really strong growth in 2021.